Hello, I'm Nicole and welcome back to Knick Knack Reads. Today we're going to be doing a book talk on a book that I have wanted to read for quite some time now, Article 5 by Kristen Simmons. It's the first in the series, which also has Breaking Point and 3 in it. Article 5 is a dystopian novel set in America. A war has happened and the war is over. They're basically in the process of rebuilding their country and their nation, and they've kind of got this new government that's in charge, and they're called the Federal Bureau of Reformation, and they pretty much have these moral statutes of the United States of America which list a whole heap of different sections and articles, and in particular 5 articles that they have to obey by. People have to comply with these or they get taken away and they get put up for trial, and nobody ever really wins their trial. They're always found guilty and they're pretty much implied they're killed. You don't really find out. Really horrible how they treat people. Like, you're not a citizen at all. You're just nothing. You are nothing to these people, and people are barely surviving. There's a stack of poverty. It's horrible. Like, and there's all these things in a band, like books and magazines. This book pretty much focuses on Ember Miller. She's 17 years old and her mum is in breach of Article 5, which is children are considered valid citizens only when conceived by married men and wife. Her mum had Ember out of wedlock, so she has violated that statute. So it's all about what happens with this. Like, I was actually very surprised by this book because a lot of these dystopian novels, I find they spend a lot of time at the beginning building up the world and makes it slow. I just get bored with them, and I found with this book, like, literally by the 5th page her mum is arrested by these soldiers, and it's insane because you expect to wait like a couple of chapters before that happens, and it literally happened from page 5. She also has to get taken into custody as a bit of a witness as well. And it's interesting because one of the guys that ends up being there is her old neighbour, who also happens to be the only guy she's ever loved. It's a nice little, you know, kick in the gut for them there. Chase is the soldier that she's been in love with. I was pretty much shipping their relationship before you even mentioned him in this book. My neighbour who lived next door, who had a thing for it, I'm like, I'm shipping it. You know, I was on that bandwagon before it was even a bandwagon. Ember is sent away a rehabilitation centre. I'm gonna just say rehab because it's easier to pronounce. There's a whole heap of other girls, get sent there who are in violation of all these other codes. Very big deal because they're trying to go back to all the old values that we had and traditions, like back to like the 1950s is the only way to describe it. Like, that whole mentality. Pretty much from the get-go she's trying to escape. And, you know, I found it really good because they didn't drag on the boring bits, and, you know, when they're gonna really punish her, she ends up, Chase kind of comes in, breaks her out, and then they're both just on the run. Okay, like, I honestly thought in this book, you know, she gets, like, something happens, she gets captured, I guess, like, her mum's arrested, she's thrown in jail. Like, it takes a couple of chapters, they talk about how horrible the place is that she's in for several chapters, and then by the end of it, she would somehow escape. And it's like, no, it's I think even before like maybe not even halfway through the book, she's already escaped. And they're on the run. So I had a good laugh that they said in the second one that they're on the run, because it's just like, but they're on the run in this book. There isn't much explanation of the world, I found. Like, they don't explain why the war occurred, how it started, what happened during the war. Like, you found out there were some bombings and how it ended. But I wasn't too bothered at the time because it was just so fast paced with the events that were happening. I didn't really find that I had time to stop and go, how did this happen? What happened? It was only until after I finished reading it and I went on Goodreads that someone was like, there was no kind of like world building at all, and I went, oh, that's true. Not bothered though. I really liked it. The relationship between Chase and Ember that they're building up is also interesting because they were together and then he signed up to join in the army. Well, he was forced to, and she pretty much went, yeah, it's fine, just go become a soldier. And then he kind of comes back and he's just like not the guy that she expected him to be and remembered him to be. And I did not like Tucker Morris at all. I'm a bit concerned about him because it reminds me of the Shadow Me trilogy a little bit with Alex and Warner and then Juliet. I can see poor Chase being like Alex. I was definitely on Alex's side. I don't want her to end up with Tucker like Juliet ended up with Warner. Don't want that to happen at all. For some reason, like, the sequel's called Breaking Point, so I kind of figured that in Article 5 stuff would go down. It would be insane, it would be cool. Like, in my head I expected it to be like car chases and stuff and like explosions and like things going off, and I'm hoping that happens in the sequel because was I disappointed there was no cool epic car chase or, you know, massive fight scene with guns and shooting. Yes, I was disappointed that that didn't happen because I thought it would. Yeah, I haven't read a dystopian novel in a little while. Okay, that's a lie. I read dystopian novels all the time. I really enjoyed this book. I did. I would definitely pick it up. I give this 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. If you read this book, let me know down below what you thought of it. If you want to read this book, you should. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.